hopefully most of you are aware with the Net Generation program, they completely revamped the school's program. So they created a curriculum that has lesson plans that meet the SHAPE standards for the grade level outcomes. So for those of you that are not aware of the physical education curriculum, SHAPE is kind of their overseer and sets the standards for what the kids in the classroom need to achieve at each grade level. So the lesson plans that we created, the curriculum we created, was in coordination with SHAPE and meets all of the standards for PE teachers. And it was written by PE teachers, so it makes sense to them. So it's not, you know, someone who really only knows tennis, that doesn't necessarily coordinate with a PE teacher being able to teach it in the classroom. So it is written for PE teachers and in a format that they understand. So as you can see, there is a curriculum for kindergarten, first and second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth, and then seventh and above. And each of these curriculums has 10 to 12 different lesson plans for the PE teachers to use. That being said, we do not put a requirement on how long they need to teach a tennis unit. My one request when we talk to schools about doing this is that each student gets at least 3 sessions of tennis. So if they meet students twice in a week and then once in another week, it's going to be a 2-week session. They're not required to teach it, you know, multiple times a year. It's just we provide them with the resources, ask them to fit it into their schedule. Sometimes they do it twice a year, sometimes they only do it once a year. It just, you know, there's so much on their calendar that they have to fit in that, you know, we're just happy with whatever they can kind of give us. We also provide a training for the PE teachers. So, you know, pre-COVID, we would get as many PE teachers in a gym together to let them see how this can look in their classroom. We set up the gym as they could set up their own classroom and go through different activities so they have a firsthand knowledge of what it looks like. Post-COVID, we have not done any trainings this year, but we do have the ability to do virtual trainings. So we have not done any yet in Georgia. I think it's one of those things that both Jane, Fiona, and myself have kind of, you know, reached out to all of our contacts and said, this is available. We understand you're overwhelmed right now, but just know that we're here if you need it, and we're happy to host a training for you. So we haven't done one of those yet, but, you know, hopefully as things get better and we can, you know, get back to those trainings, the goal is to do them in person because it's very valuable for them to be able to see and do and touch, as opposed to just be on a computer and, you know, trying to keep their attention for 60 minutes. And then kind of the biggest seller of this program is that we provide equipment to approved programs that have a community partner. Now, a community partner would be someone like yourself who is going to be kind of the resource in the community that can provide an after-school program, can provide activities on the weekends for kids. It's the person who we want to further all of the kids' tennis who are interested in it, so providing those opportunities for them. So the equipment that the teachers get, it is theirs to keep, and they get 30 rackets, 3 dozen balls, a couple of rolls of the caution tape to make nets, and then that big yellow bag that you guys can see on the screen. So the biggest thing about this program is it is completely free for PE teachers. They do not pay anything for this. USTA covers the cost for it, for everything that you see here, and it's just, you know, we provide the resources for teachers because our goal, obviously, is to promote and develop the growth of tennis. Haven't said the mission in a while. So in, you know, thinking about our mission, schools is the best way to do that because there's so many kids who, you know, think about the sports that you took in PE. I didn't take tennis in PE. It's not your typical physical education sport. And so that is our goal, is to try to get tennis and PE in as many schools throughout Georgia as we can. Just, you know, having gone through the numbers recently, we've worked with over, I think like 200 schools in Georgia. So we've worked with a lot of PE teachers, but to take it the step further is, you know, to provide the after school component, to provide that community partner for our schools so that the kids have the opportunity to continue playing tennis outside of the classroom if they're interested. So real quick, Fiona, are there any questions in the chat box about the in-school program, or does anybody have questions about the in-school program?
Yes, what is the cost for those who are not PE teachers?
We can get into that for the next session for the after school component. Because I want to kind of talk to you guys about that. If you are working with a school or you have a school that approaches you, our goal is for the PE teachers to be able to run this program. We really don't want you guys going in the school and running it just based on all of the resources we are able to provide the PE teacher. We provide them the equipment, the curriculum, so they should be able to do it themselves. But if you have a PE teacher that says the only way that we're going to do tennis is if someone comes in and does it for us, I think the way we could work that is they would register for the program, the equipment would stay at the school, and you could go in and run that, if that makes sense. All right.
And that's it for now.
So now I'm sure the reason why the majority of you guys are on the call is about the after school tennis program. So USTA does do after school tennis. You know, like I said, it's kind of the next step of what, you know, the goal is after tennis and PE. So in a perfect world, we would have you work with a school and have the PE teacher teach, you know, the tennis unit, and then you follow that up with your after school tennis program. So some resources that are available to you for running an after school program is you have access to all the lesson plans, which if you were on the last presentation and saw about the Net Generation app, you got to see about, you know, the different activities and how you can put your own lesson plans together. So you have access to the app. We do have community trainings for people who have never run a program, a tennis program before. So we have those for you that are available. And then we also provide community providers with an equipment pack for participating in the program and registering. So in order to receive the equipment, you do have to be registered on Net Generation. So what that involves, if you have not registered yet, is to take and pass an NCSI background screening, and then to take and pass the Safe Sport course, which is about 90 minutes now. And it just goes over, you know, the things that you need to know about working with kids, you know, how to look for abuse, sexual misconduct, how not to put yourself in a risky situation, never be alone with kids, you know, that kind of stuff. So again, that's what providers get by participating in the after school tennis program. So how you do that is you register on Net Generation and you register the program on there as a community program. And if you register 3 different programs, unfortunately at this time, you are only allowed 1 kit, but you do get a kit. And again, it is no cost to you. So by registering on Net Generation, we provide you with the equipment, with the training, with the lesson plans.
Amanda?
So how do you get started? Who do you contact at the school? As mentioned before, it's not, you know, a one-way thing for schools. So 2 different instances where USTA Georgia has started an after-school program. One, we had contact with a PE teacher who put us in contact with the principal, who's the one who was kind of the gatekeeper for the after-school program. This was done at a low-income, very high Hispanic school, and we ran a program for 6 weeks there. And it was kind of interesting because the PE teacher selected the kids that were going to be in the program. We had 20 kids, it was a 6-week program, and we did the program right after school for 1 hour. Another program that USTA Georgia has run is at a different school where we had contact with the PE teacher, but they put us in contact with the PTA because the PTA was the one running the after school program. So we worked with the PTA, and this was actually a paid for program. So, you know, kids registered for the program. This one was a 10-week program, and it was $150. So it broke down to be $15 a class for the students. We had anywhere from, I think, 8 to 12 kids. We ran it for 2 years, both fall and spring semesters. And it wasn't a way to make money. It was a way to get tennis in the after school program. And we were able to take the money from that and put it back into the schools program at USTA Georgia. So again, there's different ways of getting into the schools. You just kind of have to know the correct person to talk with. And I would start with the PE teacher, because generally they kind of have a good idea, whether it's, you know, a PTA that's running it, an after school group is running their after school program. It's just, it kind of takes some feeling around to find out who, you know, you need to be talking to, and you might have to talk to 4 different people before you get to the right one. So where to have the program? In our experience, the most successful after school programs that we've had and heard about are run at the school in the gym. You know, most schools don't have tennis courts, and that's okay, because all of these programs are developed to be run in a gym. So having the kids already in school and not having to go anywhere was kind of, you know, one of those things that we saw, that we had more participation in the programs, because, you know, maybe parents can't get them to these programs. These are meant to be beginner programs. You know, you're not going to want to be teaching a kid who's a tournament player in an after school program. They're most likely going to be taking tennis at their local tennis courts. This is for those kids who are just trying it out for the first time. So in our experience, it's been the most successful to have the program at the school where the kids are. That way they don't have to go anywhere. How long should it be? It can be as long as you are available to run it and what the requirements of the school are. It can be 6 weeks. It can be 10 weeks. It can be the entire semester. It's up to you and what you are available for, and you need to make sure that you are explaining that to the school when they are asking you. The 10-week program that I was talking to you guys about, they originally wanted us to do it the entire semester long, and I couldn't commit to that. I ran it with the USTA Georgia staff, so there was no way we could commit to running it every single week for, I think it was 14 weeks, with a couple weeks given off per school. So it's up to you and your calendar what you can do. The other thing is this doesn't need to be a 5-day-a-week program. Usually it's done once a week. You know, we did it on Wednesdays, and I think Thursdays was the other day for the other program. So, you know, an hour long once a week.
You're getting some feedback.
If you're not on mute, can you just make sure you're on mute real quick? If you're not on mute, can you just make sure you're on mute real quick? Okay, sorry, jumped ahead. So how long should it be? Once a week for no more than 60 minutes. You know, if you work with children, you know that their attention span is not a terribly long time. And, you know, these beginner tennis programs, they're going to be doing, you know, some pretty easy tasks in the gym. So you want to keep them engaged. You want to keep them, you know, happy with what they're doing. So once a week, 60 minutes tops, and you have your after school program. As I stated before, this is a beginner program. You know, that's kind of how I would promote this to your schools. Again, you don't want a tournament player who's playing every weekend, you know, across the state of Georgia in this program. You want the kid who's like, well, I don't know if tennis is for me. This would be the perfect thing for them to decide if they want to get involved in tennis as opposed to choosing another sport. Cost. Again, it's up to you and the school that you're working with. We have run free programs. We have run paid for programs. When you are running a paid for program, be very aware that generally the school is going to ask for some of your registration feedback as part of participating in their program. The program that we ran, where it was 10 sessions and $150, we had to give 10% of that back to the school, which we were happy to do. And it went back into their PTA foundation. So you make the numbers work for you. If, you know, you think I'm going to have 10 kids in the class, we're going to charge $15 per class. Make sure that that covers your time and your expense. This can be a great way for you to fill in a hole in your day where you don't have anyone coming out to the tennis court. You know, typically elementary school gets out around 2:30, 2:45. So if you know that you can be at that school from, you know, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then you can have lessons starting at your court at 5 o'clock, that's a pretty good way to make some money right there. It does not have to be paid for if you can make that work as well. And then I think that's kind of the gist of after school tennis from my perspective. Does anybody have any questions real quick before we have Sam kind of tell his experience of how he is able to run his program?
I think, Greg, did you have a question? Oh, you're on mute. Hang on one sec. Let's see.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I have a situation where I'm already working with a small local private school, and I've been working with them for a few years. Basically, I ask for a very minimal fee. It's like $6, $7 a child. I work with them for 2 hours. I take the youngest children for the first hour, the older children for the second hour. And I've been providing a lot of the equipment out of my own pocket. And this would be an ideal way to supplement what my needs are. And pretty much I am the phys ed teacher because of my licensing in education, because of my background. I serve as their PE teacher. So once a week on Wednesday mornings, I am their PE teacher so that they can meet the state requirement for physical education. So bottom line is I would love to be a part of this because a lot of the equipment and so forth that come through Net Generation would be ideal to support my efforts with this small school that I work with once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll just be looking for more information on how to be a part of this and getting more equipment and so forth so that I can really provide a little bit more or let's say a more in-depth experience for the children because they're all beginners. And I've been working with them for a couple of years now at this little school. And in private schools, they do come and go. They don't always have a consistent population. So little by little, and then some of the children, actually, the parents approach me, and then they want to become a part of my private program that I run so that they can continue their development in tennis.
Mm-hmm.
But I love all of this, and I would love to be a part of it. And yeah, I already have a situation where I am the PE teacher, so I would be the one to approve it to move forward.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, we can certainly connect after this call and we will get you all registered so that you have the availability to get that equipment. And again, once the PE teacher or you as a provider gets that equipment, it is yours to keep. You don't have to.
Fantastic. That help would be greatly appreciated.
And so I don't think I went over the equipment pack that providers get. So by registering your after school program on the website as a community program, you have access to, the teachers get 30 rackets, but you get 20 rackets. They are 23-inch rackets and 25-inch rackets. You get 24 balls, which is a combination of orange and red balls, and then you get the bag and the tape and I believe chalk to be able to draw tennis courts outside.
Well, the nice thing is I do have tennis courts available,
Nice.
so I'm actually able to get their parents. Because of COVID, we don't go to the school location. So they bring them to the location where I normally teach at.
Awesome.
Makes it very convenient. So I have courts and everything, but having the tennis balls and some more rackets available would be awesome.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we can get you set up with that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So one quick other thing before Sam gets started, as I kind of said before, in a perfect world, the way, we see this program being super successful is for a school to sign up and they do tennis and PE, and then we follow that up with doing an after-school tennis program. And then maybe once that 6-week program is over, you can set up something at your facility, whether it's a round robin on the weekends for the kids to come out and try to enjoy some competition. But that's kind of the route that we hope to see, is that kids do tennis and PE, say, hey, this is a sport I can play. And then they do after school, for those that are interested. Not the entire school is going to be interested, but if you can get 20 kids interested, that's awesome. If you get 10, that's even, it's not as many as 20, but it's 10 more than you had before. So you have 10 kids in the after school program. And then you have, some series of events at your club that you can invite the kids out to keep them engaged in tennis. And, that's how you promote yourself, to say, hey, your kid participated in the beginner session, like let's, further their skills in another program at the facility. The final thing that I do want to say is, as far as grade levels to work with, you can do whatever you want. In my experience, I've worked with third, fourth, and fifth, and then another school, we wound up offering it to second graders as well. If you have the ability, I would, and you have the school is interested, a lot of times the kids that participate in those after school programs are the younger ones. So if you have the ability, kind of what Greg was saying, work with your kindergarten first and second, for 45 minutes, and the next 45 minutes, that's when you have your third, fourth, and fifth, where you split it up between days, however works best for you. But putting a kindergartner in the same class with a fifth grader is going to be challenging. Having second graders in the same class as fifth graders was challenging, but we made it work because we had, multiple coaches in there. Another question is, how many coaches do you need? It's what you're comfortable with, and you kind of have that experience, working with kids on the tennis court now. I would say definitely no more than 1 to 10. Being in an enclosed space like the gym, you can kind of, pocket them in little groups, but you can't always keep an eye on them. So I typically, I think the most that I had in a class was 14, and we had 2 coaches there, and it worked out well. We were able to keep kind of the younger kids with, and at the time we were working with second through fifth. We kept second and third together, and then fourth and fifth together. So it worked out well, and we used the Net Generation curriculum. I do have some lesson plans that our office put together specific for a 10-week program, and I'm happy to share that with you guys. I have, for anybody registered on the call, we have your email, and I'm happy to email that out to you guys if that's something that you would like to see. Again, we just utilized the Net Generation curriculum and put a 10-week session together with the last 2 sessions focused on match play. It was pretty incredible to see these kids go from not being able to hit a ball at all to actually being able to rally over a net at the end of a 10-week session or 6-week session for our other programs. So again, like I said, I will put my email as well as Jane and Fiona's in the chat box at the end of the session, so you guys can jot that down. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If there is a school that you know of that you want to work with, we will work with getting you in that school. I would say that the only thing is make sure that you are registered on Net Generation so we can get you started. So I'm going to pass it over to, sorry, Fiona, are there any other questions?
Not at this point.
I'm going to pass it over to my good bud, Sam, and he's going to tell you guys about, it's one thing for me from the state office to tell you about all these great things you can do, but I feel like knowing someone who's in a similar role to you, to be able to explain his experience will kind of, be a little bit different for you guys, and hopefully he can share some of the things that he has done and how he's done them, and it'll be a little relatable for you guys. So Sam, if you can go ahead and get started.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. South Atlanta has been around in the business of after-school programming since 1992. National Junior Tennis League started back in 1969 with Arthur Ashe and Charlie Pasquarello. They wanted to give kids an opportunity to learn the game of tennis, as well as begin to get some character building and use tennis as a way to get them educated and become productive citizens in our society. There are over 250 NJTLs. And basically what we do is we use low cost, as well as some of them will come in free for different programs and services, okay? In my area where I'm located at, the demographics is low income to medium income, so we try to compensate most of our participants, especially in the school systems. The way we do this is, the only way you can do this is building relationships, and we built relationships over the years with various agencies and collaborated with various agencies. USTA Southern, USTA Georgia, USTA Atlanta, Atlanta Tennis Foundation, and the USTA Foundation are some of the USTA organizations that we use. And they support us with programs and services as well as grants also. So you can get different opportunities, funding to help you as you get into this. We use a lot of different school agencies, the City of Atlanta schools, Fulton County schools. We use the Boys and Girls Clubs, YMCAs, to offer these programs too. We use into the schools, we go into elementary schools, middle schools. We also go into high schools. I'm gonna touch on one of each, and that way kind of give you an idea of how we got started. In our elementary schools, we have a center that we run called the Burdette Tennis Center. And right beside Burdette Tennis Center is a school called Bethune Elementary School. So we went in and talked to the principal, like Amanda talked about, and he gave us an opportunity to do a play day. And in that play day, we use our volunteers and staff, and the kids would come out. He would have the first grade come out, one period, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, sixth grade. So all the kids got an opportunity to participate and come out and see tennis for one day. After that, we didn't realize it, but we thought that the schools were doing the after school programs. But what we found out was there was an organization out of Greenville, South Carolina that had the contract to run some of the City of Atlanta schools called Wings for Kids. So we got an opportunity to meet with them and let them know that we wanted to go into their after school programs. They allowed us first to do 2 programs, pilot programs, and then after that, we did so well, they gave us 5 schools. And during the process of that, Wings also compensated our coaches for doing that program. So it was at no cost to South Atlanta, and the kids got an opportunity to be involved in programs and services. Now, from the middle school standpoint, again, it's all about relationships. At Woodward Academy and Landmark Christian School, both of their middle schools, and they come over here for practices and for their matches. Woodward Academy has a high school boys and girls program, and they don't have that many courts. So the high school kids get first preference over the middle school kids, so they never get a chance to play their matches at home, probably once or twice. So they use our facility to do their practices and their matches. I've been involved in Woodward Academy for years, guys. It's been a great relationship for me. I used to work their summer day camp tennis program, and for about 4 or 5 years, and after each season, each summer program, we would do a regional rally, and we would invite all the NJTLs from all over the city. Sometimes we would have over 1,500 people come to that event, okay? Also, the Jesse Draper Boys and Girls Club tennis program runs out of that. And we used the Woodward Academy facility to do the Jesse Draper Boys and Girls Club program, which is right next to Woodward Academy, so the kids can just walk there. Another factor of relationship that I built with Woodward Academy is I used to be the community coach for the girls varsity team. And we won state championships there. So we built those relationships over the years, which gave me an opportunity. So when we came over and we got the contract for the South Fulton Tennis Center, it was a win-win situation for them to come over and bring their program here. Landmark Christian Middle School is another school that come here also. They do their practices as well as they do their matches here too. Also, we had a program that we did with the Atlanta Tennis Foundation. They sponsored the following schools: Camp Creek Middle, Renaissance Middle, and Chattahoochee Charter School. And that's what we were able to take coaches and put them in the schools, and then they would come over on Saturday morning and do classes here at South Fulton. So again, it's about around relationships. On the high school level, we have an adaptive PE program that we do with Banneker High School, as well as we do Landmark Christian High School program is done here too. And one of the things that's unique about the high school program is we have a community coach also that help the teacher to run the program. And so they do their high school matches here and they also practice here, okay? We, at the South Fulton Tennis Center, we also host the 4A and 5A regional tournaments that they have here in the city. Also, we do the historically Black college tournament here. And doing that historically Black college tournament, we have a combine where we bring all the top high school kids together and they get a chance to come over and showcase their skills to all the historically Black college tournaments and colleges. And we probably have about 20 to 25 of those colleges here. And during that time, some of those kids get picked up to go to college from those historically Black colleges. Some of the additional programs and partnerships that we've had over the years, we've had a big thing that we do with Venus Williams Foundation. Venus has supported us. She came over last July and came over and we called it the Venus Williams Day. That was done through Eddie Gonzalez with the BB&T. So our relationship with Eddie helped us out to get her over here. And once she came over and saw what we were doing, she wanted to partner with us and she started giving us funding to help us do these school programs and the programs that we do. The National Tennis Foundation is another foundation that help us with grants and opportunities to support our programs here. Also, the National Tennis Foundation, they do a big event in Necker Island, which is Richard Branson's island. And they do a big event there and some of our kids get to go over there and it's an experience of a lifetime for them. They get a chance to go over there and be involved in that program. We're one of 14 team excellence programs in the nation. And that program is a great program. That's where we take our top 16 high-level kids and train them and give them equipment and help them with tournaments and those kinds of things. The Everett Foundation is another foundation which has allowed me to have 4 or 5 of our kids have the opportunity to go down there and train and be a part of that. And they also give them tournament fees, equipment, those kind of things. Now, the biggest one is the USTA Foundation. They've been an integral part in helping us continue the process, especially when it comes to reconstruction of our courts that we're doing now for the 24-court facility that we have here. Catherine, you want to talk about that a little bit? Are you on?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Catherine Early. I work with Coach Sam as sort of his program person, and working with South Atlanta has been truly a joy. But to just kind of piggyback on one of the things that he says, you know, we have our hands in a lot of different places, so we really appreciate the support of the USTA in all of our efforts. And one of the things that we're working on now, through a partnership with the City of South Fulton, which is where we're actually located, and the USTA Foundation, we've gotten some funds from both of those entities to be able to resurface our courts. So we're really looking forward to expanding our programming, specifically as it relates to being in our schools. We really see that generation as an opportunity for us to showcase and serve some of the kids that would never otherwise have access to tennis. So we're really excited about utilizing the Net Generation platform to expand what we're already doing here at the South Fulton Tennis Center through our organization, South Atlanta Community Tennis Association. So we're hopefully looking forward to tournaments and having more of our students that will hopefully participate in the after-school programs and the school programs to participate in junior team tennis and league play. So we're just really excited about that. So that's all I wanted to add into the conversation. So
Thank you, Catherine.
no problem.
We also have a young lady on the phone that used to be in my program, and she went to Hampton University, and she started the club tennis program there. And I wanted her to kind of give you an idea of that kind of program that she started there. Kaylin, are you on?
Yes, I'm on.
Okay.
I did in January of 2017. I did start the club tennis team at Hampton University under USTA Tennis on Campus. That organization funded like the initial costs and stuff for like starting the team. So they gave money for like rackets and tennis balls, and then we played tournaments against other club teams in our region. We were in the Mid-Atlantic region, so yeah, we were able to compete against other schools as well.
Okay. You know, we also have had relationships with the Bryan Brothers Foundation, and they have been very, very generous to us also. They allow us for me to take kids out to Indian Wells every year for the last 2 or 3 years, to take kids out there. And Wayne and his foundation, they do a doubles tournament, and then we get a chance to take our kids out there and participate in the doubles tournament, as well as be able to go with to Indian Wells. The kids have had an opportunity also to go to the Rogers Cup, to the US Open. You know, we've been very fortunate with the organizations that we work with to, and we've been blessed to be able to do what we do. But again, it's all through relationships. We've also sent various kids to various colleges all over the United States, and it's a blessing. And some of them, like Kaylin comes back and be involved and volunteer. Some of our coaches are coaches who have been in our program, who have graduated and now coming back to work on a part-time basis. Good thing about it too is even my kids are involved in my program. Zach is at Georgia State. He played at Georgia State. He's back now working. It's just a great opportunity. I'm opening up for questions now if you have them. Is Deja on the phone? Is Deja Reed on the phone, on the call?
Yes, I'm on, Coach.
Deja, will you talk with them about your program that you do at Seaborn Lee?
Is that the picture there? Well,
Yes, that's the picture. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought that was, I was looking at it. I mean, I pretty much the Net Generation curriculum. I definitely use that a lot in my lesson planning. I mean, the kids are always excited. I mean, I'm just as excited as the kids are. I'm like a big kid. So whenever I show up, you know, they're running to grab equipment. They're running to just get in line and you know, head to the gym so we can have tennis. But just the eagerness of the children to want to learn the sport, and just the school being receptive to us being there. I think it's a blessing. I love it. I mean, it's fun. That's all I can say is it's fun. It's fun for me. It's fun for the kids. I love just being able to expose children, especially those who just, you know, never would have an opportunity. I just love to expose them to the sport of tennis, and then just expose them to just my personality, the way I do things, the way I like to have fun. So it's a win-win.
Yes, Deja is great at that program. I mean, I couldn't get a better instructor. Deja, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Coach.
Excellent.
We're open for questions if there are any. Zach, is Zach on the call, or is he teaching lessons now?
Zach has left us, Sam.
You left us, okay.
I don't really know where to start. I have a question. What I've been doing is I'm Tammy Brown, by the way. I have a full-time job, so it's kind of difficult, but I've been working over at Clayton Tennis Center, or volunteering over the Clayton Tennis Center now for 15 years. And we actually have our regular academy, And now we're starting to do a little more with our 10 and under program, which is the one that I just fell in love with. And it's something I would like to do is to get more into the areas of, we need more Hispanic population, and we have, I know 3 students who are autistic, and we're trying to find, I would like to find ways to get them more involved, bring different cultures or more people into our program. And how would you do that, Sam, or how have you been doing it? Because I've also been over to your academy. I bring my son over there. I brought my son over there several times.
Okay, we have a program called Exceptional Minds, and I can get you in touch with that program. That's for kids who are somewhat challenged, and I can get you, and that's a nonprofit program. They come here normally in the fall and in the spring, and they come in probably 20, 25 kids, and we do tennis with them. So that would be a good program for those 3 kids to get involved in. So kind of get back with me after this, and I can get you to her, and she can include them in the program. She does a great job with that program.
Okay. Because right now they're in, one of them is only doing private lessons, and the other one, I've been able to incorporate her into the academy on the weekends. So she comes to our Saturday camp. So how can we get some of that started over where we are? I mean, because, you know, Clayton and South Fulton are very far apart, pretty much.
That's something we can talk about, and we can look at possibly some ways of funding you to get to upgrade your program. Are you working with
Coach Archie?
Conrad Cook at all?
Slightly. Sometimes he's over in Lovejoy. So
Okay.
so I'm doing some with Coach Cook and some with Coach Archie.
Okay, let's plan on getting together, and we can look at supporting you some in different ways. Conrad, are you on the phone? He said
Coach
he would
Cook.
be on. Yes.
Oh.
Hey, Sam, I'm going to jump in here real quick.
Okay. All right.
Tammy, I'm not sure. You said it was Clayton?
Clayton.
I'm not
South Clayton.
sure if they, if the county has adaptive PE teachers, but that would be a route that I would go with, is to see if there are adaptive PE teachers, and if, you know, if it's one of those things where maybe you, like, if there's someone, you know, like you said, you have a full-time job, but if there's someone within your organization that can go and, you know, do like a fun day of tennis for the adaptive PE students, or work with the adaptive PE teacher to do a tennis unit, and then offer some kind of special event at your facility to invite, you know, those students to come and play tennis on the tennis court and, you know, show what they learn in the classroom. So that would be a way that I would approach it, as well as, you know, like you mentioned, the Hispanic population. Same thing. If, you know, the teacher cannot do a tennis unit in PE, and, or maybe you can't offer an after-school tennis program at that facility, again, maybe see if you can partner with that school to go in to, you know, do a special event, you know, during certain class times, and say, hey, you know, here's just kind of a small introduction to tennis. We would love for you to come out to the facility for a free event, you know, come play tennis with us, free lessons, however you want to promote it. But that would be my suggestion of trying to, you know, reach out to those different groups by going through, you know, your PE teachers or your adaptive PE teachers. And if you need help kind of, you know, looking at those schools or getting in touch, again, Jane, Fiona, and myself are always happy to help reach out to the different schools.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, I
Well,
just wanted to say thank
okay.
you so much to everybody. I am going to have to sign off. I have to get ready for my afternoon lessons.
Okay.
But it's a pleasure.
Greg, I took down your name and I have your email, so I will be in touch.
Thank you so much. And Sam, I'll be giving you a call later.
Okay.
All right. Take care.
Amanda, that's a good way of doing it. That's the way we've done it at the Banneker High School.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do this year before the pandemic came we were gonna, I got with the lady who heads up the adaptive program with Fulton County. We were gonna begin to bring over maybe 4 or 5 schools to come to South Atlanta, to South Fulton Tennis Center and do the program. That may be the best way to go about it, is go through the adaptive, through the PE program. Good idea.
Thank you.
All right, so real quick, Fiona, have you, okay, so the emails are in, gotcha.
Emails are in the chat box. I also gave the link to get registered.
Perfect. Did you put your email in there, Fiona?
I
Yes.
did.
Okay. So real quick, Jane or Fiona put my email, her email, and Jane's email in the chat box. Just a side note, Jane does work with the schools, but she is concentrating on high schools right now. So if you have high school questions, she's your gal. But feel free to take down our email if you guys have any questions, or you're interested in getting involved and you need more information, or a starting direction. We would be happy to help you guys out. The school program kind of sells itself in school with all that we're able to provide the teachers. The after school component is, I would say, the hardest part of our job is finding people that are available and want to teach after school tennis, because it takes a special person to want to teach kids, especially kids that have never played tennis before. So if it is something you are interested in, please get in touch and we will find a school for you. I just did a quick Google, and there are over 780,000 elementary schools in Georgia. So if it's something you're interested in, we will find a school for you. The other thing is it's not just elementary programs that you can get started. You can do this in middle and in high school. I think, it's one of those things where elementary is kind of an easy one to focus on because the kids are really young and they typically have not maybe picked a sport by then. By the time they get to middle school, they're generally kind of decided what they want to do. So if it's something that you guys are interested in, please, please, please reach out to us. We would be happy to help you get started and, get you on your way.
Yeah, I see Laura Ingram's on. Laura is at one of the high schools. She's a coach there. And I see Jennifer Hornsby's on too. She's down in Eastland, Georgia, I think. And she's come on she want to begin to do that down where she's at also. Thank you guys for coming on.
How do we, am I on mute? How do we save these chats? This is a lot of information and I need to keep it all, but it's a lot. The contacts and emails, and I've never used Zoom before.
Email everyone who registered for the meeting after this with the contact information and how to get registered as well.
Okay, thanks.
So I can send an email after this.
All right, thank you.
All right, so if we don't have any other questions, I have one more thing to share. So for those of you that were on the last call and on this one, this is a series of 4 different sessions. So the next session will be on October 16th at 1 p.m. Is certification right for you? Mark Suter, Alan Jensen, and CJ Jones from USTA Southern will be discussing the requirements, costs, benefits, and resources for the different groups that you can join here in Georgia. What I did not do is since I'm going to email you guys after this call, I will include the link in the email for the next session for you guys to go ahead and get registered. It's going to be same format as this, presenting and sharing information. So go ahead and mark your calendar now if you are interested in that topic. Otherwise, if there are no questions, we will stay on for just a little bit longer in case anybody has a question. You can throw it in the chat. Otherwise, be on the lookout for an email from me with the information that we said that we would share from this presentation. And we very much appreciate everyone participating and jumping on. it's something that, you know, I can honestly say for Jane, Fiona, and myself, and I'm pretty sure Sam as well, that schools is a very big passion for us. It's an incredibly rewarding job, and you know, there's nothing better than going into a classroom of students that have never played tennis and watching them, you know, have success with hitting a tennis ball for the first time, or be able to rally at the end of a, you know, a unit. So when we find people that have the same passion as us, it's very nice to see. And, you know, we want to get you guys involved if that's something you're interested in. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, Amanda, I think the thing for me is it's not really a job, it's a passion. You know what I mean? You have to be passionate about what you do. And to wake up every day and to be able to touch lives and change lives, that's what it's all about.
Great. Well, again,
Where's
thank you
that
guys.
Jennifer? Where's that Jennifer? I haven't heard her say anything. She's on mute.
I'm here. You muted me.
Tell us about what you're doing down there.
Say that again, Sam.
Tell us about what you're doing down there.
Well, what I'm doing down here, I'm in Perry, Kathleen Perry, Georgia, and we just been doing a lot. You know, we have some junior programs that on different days between myself and Gary Barrett. We alternate days, so I'm doing the junior high school, middle school, high school beginner group on Monday for an hour and a half, 5 to 6:30, and then on Wednesday I have the intermediate to beginners group, again middle school and high school, and they do 2 hours from 5 to 7. And then Gary would do on Tuesday, he does 8 and under. So our next session 3 for the fall program, he already have about 6 or 7 players in that group. And then on Thursday, he have like a 10 and under, 12 and under. So you have about 3 or 4 in that group. So, and we in session 3. It is, our area is a little small. So it's a little bit difficult to get kids out there because it is small, and those that could come out and do programming and stuff, some of them have to come from Cochrane kind of stuff to get it in. So that's a challenge for us here.
Okay.
So, but we're having a good time. Do what we
Great.
can to make sure
Thanks.
we expose the kids to the game.
That's awesome. Hey, Jennifer, have you registered on USTA.com? Because we do have a couple of high school and middle school tennis team manuals, and maybe we can help you connect with some additional schools. And we've got a marketing generator to make flyers and things like that.
I think I am
Okay.
registered. What I was gonna do was, right now we're trying to get ready for a tournament. One of the tournaments we host for the community is a James Moss Memorial Tournament. He's kind of big in the area, and he passed a couple years ago. But I would like to, and then we also get ready to get the junior team tennis season started.
Okay.
Registration, I think, starting next week. So we get that going. But yeah, I think I'm in there, and yeah, look me up.
Okay, will do.
Gina Marie, are you still on the line? She's gone. Okay, all right. Gina Marie, she has been working with us with the Blueprint for Success program that we have here, and that program is taking a look at our organization, taking a look at our, administrative, every process of it, and getting us to move to the next level with our organization. So that's a Southern program. And it's a great program. It's helping us out a lot.
All right, well, I think we don't really have any more questions. So again, thank you guys for being here, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.
Great.
Thank you.